Okay, so let's see how you did. If you had trouble with any of these questions, I'm going to do the math for every single one, so you can kind of pick and choose what you need to hear from me. So I'm going to start with number one. First, your job is to decide how many steps are your fences. Is it one step or two step? So the way you're going to do that is find the units in the question. So this one talks about grams and formula units. Grams, let's get my pen here. Grams lives here, formula units lives down here. That means I need 2 steps. So set yourself up 2 big fences. Start with what they give you. I have 120 grams. Grams up, grams down. From that gram island, the only place that I can go is moles, so that means that's the next thing here. So I have moles up and then moles down. From mole island, I'm going to finish and go down to those formula units. Now you have good places to put your numbers. You know that you're always going to write 1 with the mole. You know that formula units uses Avogadro's number. And you know that grams, I need the molar mass. So you need to find the molar mass of NaOH. So grab your periodic table. I have 1 of each thing. Sodium, the mass is 23. Oxygen is 16. Hydrogen is 1. So I'm going to add all of those numbers up on your calculator. And your molar mass that you should get is 40. And that number goes right here. Now you're going to go ahead and put this in your calculator. So you're going to times on the top, divide down, then times on the top, divide down. When you put that into your calculator, the number you're going to get, it'll say 1.806E24, and so we rounded that to 2 sig figs to get the answer that was given there. All right, let's look at the next one. So here, you got to pull out your units, decide how many steps you need. So let's move this down a little bit so it's out of the way. Find the units in there. I see liters and I see molecules. So liters lives here, molecules lives here. So I'm going to go from liters to molecules. That's a 2-step fence. Start with what you're given. I have 28.2 liters, liters up, liters down. If you're stuck, go back here. From liter island, the only place that I can go is moles. That's the next unit that you put up here in your fences. So I'm going to do moles up, moles down. And from that mole island, I want to finish and go down to molecules. So that becomes your final unit there. Now use that to put your numbers in. So 1 always goes with the mole. Liters uses 22.4. And molecules uses Avogadro's number. Now you're going to put this into your calculator. Remember that you have to times on the top, divide down. Times on the top, divide down. So you're going to go up, down on your calculator. Don't forget to use the E for Avogadro's number. And so your calculator says 7.57875E23. We wanted 3 sig figs to start. So we took this 7, and because of the 8 that's directly afterwards, we rounded it up and got this 7.58 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, let's take a look at number 3. So find your units. You have to figure out which islands do you really care about here. And so I see moles in there, and I see liters. So moles is here in the middle. Liters lives over here on volume. So that I can do in just 1 quick fence from there to there. So I only need 1 step for this one. Don't do any more. Start like we always do. Put the number in there. Liters up, liters down. I'm going to turn that straight into moles. You know that 1 always goes with the mole. Liters uses 22.4. And put that in your calculator. Still times on the top, divide down. Nothing new there. So your calculator is going to say 0.871875. Started with 4 sig figs. We're going to end with 4 sig figs. So that 8 right there, because of the 7, got rounded up to a 9 in our answer. So take a look at the next one. Find your units. I see formula units and I see moles. So formula units, remember, is a kind of particle. That's down here. and moles is right here. So I can go right there, one fence. So start with what you're given, 5.22 times 10 to the, whoops, 10 to the 21 formula units. That's up, so then I'm going to move it down. I want to have moles, that goes on the top. 1 always goes with the mole. Formula units gets Avogadro's number. Now you just have to put this into your calculator. Make sure you're using your E when you do this. You're going to times on the top and divide down. If you don't put this in with the E, you're going to get a different answer, and it's probably going to be wrong. So your calculator says 0.00867109. We want 3 sig figs, right? These zeros are all leading, they don't count. So the third sig fig is right there at that 7. With only a 1 after it, though, we're going to leave the 7 alone and not round it up, so we get this for our answer. All right, next question. I see mass and I see atoms in there. So mass lives here, that's grams, and atoms lives down here on particles. Have to do that one in 2 steps. So first to moles, then to atoms. So we need a big fence for this one. Start with your number, 3.40 times 10 to the 24th atoms. Let's move this over so I've got a bit of space. Atoms up, atoms down. If you're stuck, go back here. Atoms down here on particles, the only place that I can go is to mole island next. That becomes your unit right here. Then that mole island, or that mole that's up, I'm going to move down, and I want to finish with the mass. Now you can put your numbers in. Moles always needs a 1. Atoms uses Avogadro's number. And grams, if you forgot, you need to find the molar mass. Grab your periodic table, and it should say about 137 for barium. And now you're ready to put this into your calculator. Remember, times on the top, divide down. Times on the top, divide down. So let's go ahead. Again, don't forget to use the E, or you probably are going to get a different answer, and it's probably going to be wrong. So your calculator says, oops, if I can write it, 773.754, blah, blah, blah. Started with 3 sig figs. That's what we're going to end with right here at that 3. But because of the 7 directly afterwards, we rounded it up to a 4 in our answer. All right, next one, find your units. You got to find your islands. I see liters and I see atoms. So we've got, whoops, get that out of the way. I've got liters here. Remember, that's on volume, and atoms down there on particles. Has to be a 2-step, right? You can't go directly there in 1 step. So set yourself up a big fence. Start with that 2.52 times 10 to the 24th atoms. Atoms up, atoms down. From that atoms island, the only place that I can go is to moles. That becomes my next unit. So I've got moles up, moles down. And the point of this is I want to go to liters. Now you're set to put your units in. Or sorry, in your numbers with your units. Always one with the mole, 22.4 liters. And atoms uses Avogadro's number. So be careful how you put this in your calculator. Times on the top, divide down. Times on the top, divide down. Make sure you're using your E for this question or you're going to get the wrong answer. Don't break the oath. So your calculator says 93.7674. We started with 3 sig figs. We're going to end with 3 sig figs. That's right here at that 7. But we rounded it up because of the 6 that was directly after it. All right, a couple more. Number 7 is kind of tricky. If you got number 7 wrong, I still love you. There was an extra trick in here that I'll show you. So I see mass and I see formula units. All right. I know that mass lives here on grams. Formula units is a kind of particle. So I have to do 1, 2 steps. So you're going to set yourself up a big fence here. Start with what you know, 5.310 times 10 to the 25th, and those are formula units. Whatever is up has to go down. From that formula unit island, the only place that I can go is to moles. So I got moles right there. Then I'm going to move them down, and from mole island, I want to go to grams. That's here. Now you can put your numbers in. So 1 with the mole. Formula units is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, and here's where the trick is. I need the molar mass for grams, and it tells me I have potassium sulfide, but I don't know the formula for that. You should know that potassium sulfide is an ionic compound. That means we're going to crisscross. You can't just write Ks. I need to know the charges. K is +1, S is -2. So when I crisscross, the formula for this is actually K2S. Now you're ready to find the molar mass. So the fact that you had to do that extra little step in there, that one might have thrown you off, and that one's really, really hard. So we're going to find the molar mass quick. I have 2 potassium, 1 sulfur, 39 there, 32 there. When I add all of this up, the molar mass that I get is 110. Now you're set to put it all in your calculator. Remember, times on the top, divide down. Times on the top, divide down. You have to use E or you're going to get the wrong answer. So your calculator says 9702.6578. We started with 4 sig figs, and so we're going to end with 4 sig figs. That's right here at that 2. We rounded the 2 up to a 3 in the answer, though, because of the 6 that fell directly after the 2. All right, let's try our last one here. We need to find our units. I see mass and I see moles. So mass and moles. Mass here, moles here. That's a nice one-step question. They're right next to each other. So I only need one fence. So 3.920 moles. Moles up, moles down. Mass means I want grams. You will know that 1 always goes with mole. And you know that grams, says right here on my fences, I need to find the molar mass. This one gave you the formula. It tells me it's AlCl3. So I've got 1 aluminum, the mass is 27. I've got 3 chlorines, the mass is 35. Add all that up to get your molar mass. You should get 132 there. That goes there for your molar mass. Same thing, you're going to do this 3.920 times there, divide down. Calculator says 517.44, but we only want 4 sig figs. That's what we started with, so this last 4 is going to get rounded away. So I hope that that helped you answer any questions. If there's something that you're still stuck on and you totally can't figure it out, put a little star next to it, and I'll talk to you about it the next time I see you in class.